Welcome to Rights and Rhymes, where I'll be showing you how to treat your talent like a business. Let's get into it. Today, we look into various role players in a song or a work and how their shares should be split in the right way, following the right procedures. Now, a song holds 100% of the work. We are going to look into a situation where we have a composer of the music and a composer of the lyrics. So, in law, this is called the musical works. We would loosely call it the beat. In law, this is called the literary works. Loosely, we will call it lyrics for this exercise. If a song has 100%, it means the beat will hold 50%. The lyrics will hold 50% to make this 100%. That's an ordinary assumption and an ordinary split. Now, in the instances where there is not only one composer of the music, but two composers, this 50% is left untouched. However, these two guys will have to share this 50% equally because they both composed the music. You don't touch the share and split of the composer who wrote the lyrics. Suppose we get composer number 3 of the same music to say these gents or ladies composed the song together as a trio. Now that I mentioned producer and composer, we will touch on the difference between a producer and a composer later on. So now this 50% will then be split into 3. You still don't touch that guy's composition and share. Let's complicate it a bit and introduce what we call a publisher. And just for the record, we are only talking about composers in this example, not performers. I will explain the difference between the two. The music composer then has a publisher that he or she signed with. Depending on the nature of their agreement, they will split his share according to that contract. For this purpose and exercise, I'll just give the composer 35%, the publisher 15%. You don't touch the 50% of the composer who did the lyrics or composed and wrote the lyrics, the author. I'm going to add another layer to it. We go back to the example where these guys produced music together. 2 composers of the music, of the beat, for argument's sake. Let's give them their 25% each. However, this guy has a publisher. What this means is that we don't touch the 25% of this guy. Instead, for argument's sake, let's say he signed a 50-50 deal. This 25% of this guy will be divided into 2. From his 25, he takes a 12.5 and the publisher will get a 12.5. As clear as daylight. All these percentages will make 100. And that's how you correctly share the splits in a song. This is the simplest way and the best way of doing it. Let's then dive into a composer who's alone in a song. The same person who composed the music being the same person who composed the lyrics. I'm saying compose, you will understand that I mean this person wrote the lyrics. This then means that he will take 100% of the song in the same format for the music and for the lyrics. Now, what happens if composer A wrote the lyrics but did not sing the lyrics. And then person B just sing those lyrics in a song. This person will be the only person entitled to 100% of the lyric side of the song. This person is what we call a performer. Don't confuse it with a performer of live events, gigs and all that. He's a performer or she's a performer because he or she is only performing the lyrics that somebody else wrote to create a sound recording, which we call a master. Back to the issue of a producer versus a composer. This person, half the time, is not a composer. This person can also be a producer. This guy is the person who makes the music, compose the sound and all of that. This guy, the producer, if he is not this guy, he only plays a role of directing these guys who are composers and performers to make a song. Another example of a performer is a session musician, an instrumentalist, if that's the word, or a musician who is called in a session to come and perform someone's composition. You just come and perform on top of what is already there. These guys have already made the music, they've already composed the rhythm, the song is moving. A performer who is a session musician only comes to play on top of that, to supplement what is already there. The confusion half the time is that some people would want a performer to be treated as a composer. If a composition is already there and you are being directed by the producer or the composer on what to do on a song or a composition that is already there, you are only performing on top of that song. You will get your share of performing at the relevant CMOs. I'll touch on CMOs very soon. Or you will be paid a session fee for your work. These are the shareholders of a song, and this is how the splits should be done. This is entry level. This is the simplest way of doing it. Remember, if you want to get deeper into your specific session, check on the contact details, send us an email for a booking and a session, and we will be there to assist you. We can assist you in two ways. Either you consult with us virtually, or we arrange, come and workshop your creatives, your clients, or any party that you work with in the creative space. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos, and stick around to watch the other videos that I've made in the channel. This is Rights and Rhymes. See you again next time when we do another topic in this interesting creative industry.